boys and girls, it's good to see you again in this lesson of Year 4 Mathematics from iTTV. I'm your tutor, Puyi. In the previous lesson, we have learned about pictographs, right? Graphs with pictures in them. Come, let us check the answers to the questions that I've given you. Number 1, answer the following questions based on the graph below. A. What was the second highest number of cakes sold and what cake was it? So we take a look at the pictograph and which cake has the second highest number of cakes sold? It's not chocolate because chocolate has the highest number. What is the next? It's tiramisu, right? Tiramisu. Now how many cakes are there? You can see that there are 5 pictures, right? And each picture represents 3 cakes. So the answer is 5 times 3 cakes. That is 15 cakes. So our answer is 15 cakes and tiramisu. Next, find the difference between the highest and lowest number of cakes sold. Let's find the cake with the highest number sold. It is chocolate, right? Now the number of cakes sold, we have 6 pictures and each picture represents 3 cakes. So that's 18 cakes. What about the lowest number sold? Which cake is it? It is coffee. There is only 1 picture. Now 1 picture represents 3 cakes. So we have 3 cakes sold. To find the difference, we take 18 minus 3. That gives us 15. Our answer is 15 cakes. C. What is the type of graph shown below? It is a pictograph, of course. Now, is it a vertical or a horizontal pictograph? It is a vertical pictograph, right? The pictures are stacked vertically. D. If the price of each cake is 13 ringgit and 50 cents, calculate the price of all the cakes sold. To do this, we need to find out the total number of cakes sold. So we calculate the number of pictures. There are 17 pictures altogether in the pictograph, and each picture represents 3 cakes. So 17 times 3 gives us 51. 51 cakes were sold. The total price will then be 51 times 13 ringgit and 50 cents. That will give us 688 ringgit and 50 cents. That is our answer. Question 2. Answer the following questions based on the graph below. A. How many books do 2 pictures represent? Now take a look at the key in the pictograph. What does it say? 1 book represents 20 books, right? 1 picture represents 20 books. Now 2 pictures will then be 2 times 20 books equals 40 books. That is our answer, 40 books. B. Which week had the least number of books borrowed and how many books were borrowed? Now take a look at the pictograph. Which week has the least number of pictures? It is week 4. The least number of books were borrowed in week 4. We have 3 pictures. So 3 times 20 books equals 60 books. So that's our answer, week 4 with 60 books. Next, what is the total number of books borrowed in a month? Now, in a month, we know that there are 4 weeks. That means we have to add up all the books that we can find there. So there are 21 pictures and each picture represents 20 books. So we have 420 books. That is our answer. D. Students from class 4C borrowed 35 books on week 2. How many books were borrowed by other students? Now take a look at week 2. There are 4 pictures. 4 pictures times 20 books equals 80 books. This is the number of books borrowed in week 2. Now since class 4C borrows 35 books, therefore books borrowed by other students will be 80 minus 35. That gives us 45. The answer is 45 books. 3. Answer the following questions based on the graph below. A. Sharp Supermarket sold a total of 48 umbrellas during the 3 days. How many umbrellas were sold on Tuesday? Let's take a look. Now for Monday, we have 3 pictures and each picture represents 4 umbrellas. So we have a total of 12 umbrellas sold. What about for Wednesday? We have 5 pictures. Now each picture represents 4 umbrellas, therefore it's 5 times 4. That gives us 20 umbrellas. Let's say the number of umbrellas sold on Tuesday is A. Now the total would be number of umbrellas sold on Monday plus that of Tuesday plus that of Wednesday. So we fill in the numbers that we know first. Total is 48. Monday, that's 12. And Wednesday, that's 20. So 12 plus 20, what do we have? 32. Okay, 32 plus A for Tuesday equals 48. To find A, we take 48 minus 32. That gives us 16. That is our answer. 16 umbrellas. How many pictures should be used to represent the number of umbrellas sold on Tuesday? Now take a look at the key. One picture represents 4 umbrellas. So if we want 16 umbrellas, we have to use 4 pictures. So the answer is 4 pictures. Alright, boys and girls, there you have it. The answers to the questions of the previous lesson. Did you find it hard or easy? I hope that it will be easy for you, yeah? Now, let's move on to a new lesson for today. Welcome back. Well, boys and girls, in the previous lesson, we have learned about pictographs, the horizontal pictograph and the vertical pictograph. Today, we'll be learning about bar graphs. There are 2 types of bar graphs, the horizontal bar graph and the vertical bar graph. Now take a look. Over here, I have a vertical bar graph. Why do I call it a vertical bar graph? As you can see, over here, the bars go up vertically in this way. Okay? I will show you a horizontal bar graph later. Now let's take a look at this bar graph. Over here, we have the title, right? Number of students in clubs and societies. And over here, this is what we call the vertical axis or y-axis. Okay? Vertical means it goes up, down like that. And this side, we call it the horizontal axis or x-axis. Okay? Horizontal. And over here, we have scales, markings on this side. Now, the difference from one marking to another, we call it interval. Interval. Now take a look. The y-axis, what does it stand for? What do all these numbers stand for? Number of students. What about the horizontal axis? It stands for clubs and societies. Now how many clubs and societies are shown here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Their names: Math Club, Choir Society, Science Club, and Canoeing Club. Okay? Now, can you tell me how many students are there in Math Club? Okay, so we take a look at Math Club and go up. And then we go to the y-axis, 30. Okay, so number of students, 30. There are 30 students in Math Club. How about the Choir Society? Let's take a look, it's over here. We go to the y-axis, 20. 20 students. Okay, Science Club, go up here, go to the y-axis, 25. Canoeing Club, oh, that's the tallest bar, 35. Alright, now from this graph, we can get a lot of information. Now, let's try to answer a few questions based on this graph. Answer the following questions based on the graph given. Number 1, what does each interval represent? Now take a look over here. I've told you just now that the difference from one mark to another is called the interval. So what is the difference here? We have 10 minus 5. That is 5. But 5 what? 5 years, 5 minutes, 5 what? 5 students. Okay? 5 students. Each interval represents 5 students. That is our answer. Which club or society has the highest number of students? How many students are there in the club or society? Now, take a look at the bar graph again. Which club has the most number of students? Which bar is the highest? This bar is the highest, right? And which club is that? Canoeing Club. Canoeing Club has the highest number of students. And how many students? Let's take a look. 35. So that is our answer. Canoeing Club and 35 students. Number 3. Which club or society has the lowest number of students? How many students are in the club or society? Alright, now we want the club with the least number of students. So we look for the shortest bar. This bar is the shortest, right? Which club is it? Oh, it's the Choir Society. How many members are there? Let's take a look at the y-axis. 20. 20 students. So that is our answer. Choir Society and 20 students. Next, what is the total number of students in the clubs and societies? Now here we are asked for the total. That means we have to find the number of members in each club or society and add them up. Okay, so let's start with math club. We have 30, so that's 30 plus, for choir society we have 20, 30 plus 20. For science club we have 25. Canoeing club, how many members? 35. Therefore, the total number of students would be 30 plus 20 plus 25 plus 35 students. So that will give us the answer 110 students. That is the total. Now the next question. The school principal wants members from 2 clubs and societies with the most number of students to help out during sports day. Which club or society will be involved and how many students are there in total? Alright, so now we want to look for the 2 clubs and societies with the highest number of students or members. Okay, so which 2 clubs or societies? Okay, I know that canoeing club has the most number of students, so definitely canoeing club will be needed to help out during the sports day. And which other club or society? Okay, this is the next highest bar, right? Math club. Students from the math club and the canoeing club will be involved to help out during sports day. Now we are also asked to find out how many students will be involved. Okay, so take a look. Math club, 30 students. Canoeing club, 35. So the total number of students needed will be 30 plus 35. That is 65 students. So that is our answer. Math club and canoeing club, total number of students, 65. Okay, so we have answered questions based on this vertical bar graph. Now let me show you a horizontal bar graph. There we have it. Now, this is a horizontal bar graph. As you can see, the bar extends horizontally, okay, from left to right. Now take a look. What is the title? Number of cars sold by Sharika Auto in 4 months. What does y-axis represent? Where is the y-axis? Is this y or is this the y-axis? This is the y-axis, right? What is the name of this one? The horizontal axis, what is it called? X, right? X-axis. Now what does the vertical axis stand for? Month. Okay, we have April, May, June and July. What about the horizontal axis? What does it stand for? Number of cars. Alright. Now can you tell me what is the interval on the horizontal axis? What is the interval? So we find the difference from one mark to another, right? 6 and 0. 6 minus 0. So it is 6. Right? So the interval will be 6. 6 what? Minutes, 6 years? 6 cars. Alright? So, from this bar, we can see that in April, how many cars were sold? Okay, the bar for April is here. So let's take the reading. 30. 30 cars. What about May? Over here, 18 cars. June, 42 cars. And July, 30 cars as well. Oh, notice that April and July have the same number of cars? Yeah? Now, from this bar also, we can get a lot of information to help us answer some questions. Let's take a look at the questions first. Answer the following questions based on the bar graph given. Number 1. Which month did Sharika Auto have the lowest sales? How many cars were sold in that month? Now, we know that in a company, the sales is very important, right? So they measure the sales according to the highest sales and the lowest sales, right? Now, in this bar graph, we can see that June has the highest sales, okay? The bar is the longest and it goes up to 42. 42 cars were sold. Which bar is the shortest? May. So May has the lowest sales. How many cars were sold? Can you tell me? Let's take a look. 18. Only 18 cars were sold. So that is our answer. The month with the lowest sales is May and 18 cars were sold. Second question. What is the total number of cars sold in the 4 months? Alright, now we want to know the total. That means we have to find out the number of cars sold each month and add them up. Let's go. April, we have 30. May, 18. June, 42. And July, 30. So the total is 30 plus 42 plus 18 plus 30. That will give us 120 cars. That is our answer. The total for the cars sold in these 4 months is 120 cars. Number 3. Sales agents are paid 2,000 ringgit for each car sold. How much money were paid to sales agents in April? Come, let's take a look. How many cars were sold in April? Okay, in April, 30 cars were sold. Now, if there are 30 cars sold, that means sales agents will get 2,000 ringgit for each car. So how much is that? 2,000 ringgit times 30. That will give us 60,000 ringgit. That is the amount paid to sales agents in April, 60,000 ringgit. Number 4. Find the difference between the number of cars sold in June and July. Let's take a look. In June, how many cars do we have? 42. And July? Okay, 30. So the difference is 42 cars minus 30 cars. That is 12 cars. And that is our answer. Alright, boys and girls, looks like we have learned a lot from reading the 2-bar graphs. Now let's take a break and go to It's That Simple. Hi, boys and girls. Now I'm sure you can recite your multiplication table for 5 quite easily. Now, what about if I ask you to multiply a big number by 5? How would you do it? Now, other than multiplying as usual, there is another quick way for you to find the answer, and I'm going to show you how. To multiply a number by 5, follow these steps. Number 1, divide the number by 2. If there is no remainder, add 0 to the end of the answer. If there is remainder, add 5 to the end of the answer. For example, 7,224 times 5 equals, so let's take the number and divide it by 2. So we have 3,612 with no remainder. Now since there is no remainder, we will add a 0 to the answer. So our answer is 36,120. You can use the calculator and multiply, and you find that this answer is true. Let's try another example. 5,211 multiplied by 5. You can use your calculator to get this answer as well, but I'm going to show you an alternative way. Take the number 5,211 and divide it by 2. You will have 2,605 with 1 remainder. Now since there is a remainder, I will add 5 to my answer. So, my answer is 26,055. You'll find that this is true for all the numbers. Alright, boys and girls, that's all the time we have for today. Come on, let's recap. Today we have learned about the vertical bar graph and the horizontal bar graph. Remember the elements in the bar graph? Over here we have the title, and this is what we call the vertical axis or the y-axis. In this graph, the vertical axis represents number of students, and this is the horizontal axis, or we call it the x-axis. In this graph, it represents the clubs and societies. And we have markings over here. The difference between one mark to another is called interval. Alright? And we can gather a lot of information from bar graphs too. So, I hope you take some time to work on the questions. I'll see you again.